Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is me, Irfan Ahmed, Dr. Irfan Ahmed. Today we will discuss about how to write a great manuscript and avoid academic plagiarism. Okay. Mostly students, they did their research, but then they don't know how to write them for their degree, because most of the university have the requirement for writing a manuscript and thesis. Okay, and when you write it, then mostly professor they reject it because there is not good and a good academic design, or sometimes it contain plagiarism. So after this video you will learn and details about, and you will be able to write a good but great manuscript. Okay, so without further wasting your time, now let's go into in detail about how to write the manuscript. Now, before begin, first we will have to talk about different type of manuscript. Okay, the types of manuscript that we have, like we have different. There are letters, there are dissertation, PhD, and MS thesis, original research article, mini review, review article, systematic review, meta-analysis, and grant proposal books and books chapters. So without further talking more about each one, we will end this video. We will first talk about how to write a good manuscript. Then in the next video we will talk about each manuscript in detail. Okay, different manuscripts have different goals. Okay, like for example, if you want to write the original article, so you have to report the original research finding. Okay, it should be highly focused on one aspect of research. For example, you have to make a one hypothesis, and your all research should focus around that one hypothesis. Okay, it is more concise and more specific to the point. Okay, when you write the original article, the second one is large body thesis, large body of work. Okay, it is less focused and more broad, much more background and many details. For example, if you want to write about the if you want to write about, for example, the balance and fall risk in elderly COPD patients. Okay, so in this you have to review about the COPD, the review about the elderly, about the balance, about the fall, and all the research that are done so far in the COPD related to balance and fall. You have to write detail about each results, about the results of each articles. Okay, you have to cite them when writing the thesis, large body of work. Okay, the second one is review articles. It bring together a large field of study into one manuscript. Okay, when there is, for example, you want to find out the same article has balance and fall risk in elderly COPD patient, and review article, you don't need to write your own, do your own research as a primary research, and this you have to collect the data from all the manuscript, from all the already published article. So the main difference between the large thesis, large body of work, and there in the end or in the methodology, you have also put your own finding. Okay, and your own research, because you will also collect the data in this type of research. But in the review, there is no need to collect your own data. You just only primarily rely on the this is only a secondary research. You primarily rely on the other works, what other did. So the main focus here is to combine the all finding, the scattered article, and combine into one manuscript. Okay, and the third one is a grant proposal. Okay, this is also a type of manuscript. But it is mostly future oriented and require an optimistic tone. Like here you have to write like the mostly the future tense, that I will do this, I will do this. Okay, and you usually express the hopefulness, positivity, and belief and good finding. Okay, like for example, if I want to do the balance and fall risk in elderly COPD patient, so in this grant proposal we mostly use the optimistic tone, like the COPD patient can lead to balance issues and can lead to fall, by supporting my claims by different articles from different sources. Okay, now what is the goal of our manuscript? Okay, the goal of the manuscript's writing is actually depend on these factors. For example, if you want to publish it or not, and if you want to publish, so which type of journal are you want to publish? Is it tier 1, Q1, Q2, and Q3, or just a local journal, and high impact or low impact journal? Okay, and open access or closed access. So your goals will be depend on these factors. Now let's talk about the impacts, high impact journals. If you want to publish your work in the high impact, so what are the criteria for publishing the high impact? What are the high impact journal looking for in your articles and your research before publishing, before accepting it to be published? They are looking for novelty, whether there is any novelty, whether there's a new invention or new things in your article or not. It need to be answered the important questions. Okay, you need to convince editor and reviewer that your question is important, your study is important. Okay, tell a story, you write down it in a way that it's link one thing with the other. When like when you telling a story, you link one thing with the others. Okay, so in the writing a great manuscript, you write in a way that one link is one sentence or one para is linked with the other paragraph. So like this, there will be consistency in your writing. Okay, the clear figure that can read and can easily understand. Okay, like the figure and table should stand alone. Okay, like when the author read the table, they can understand clearly without reading into the text of the results. Okay, clear figure make a good study into a great manuscript. Clear and concise writing, like no need to read a big fancy words or complicated language. Okay, because when you read when you make a complicated, it become artificial, and no one like artificial things. Mostly people were looking for a natural thing, so be more natural. Don't use too much jordans and too much complicated academic words. Okay, research need to be robust. Okay, no amount of good okay, it should be like robust, like it should be solid, rigorous, reliable, like produce consistent results under varying conditions. Okay, like it should not be easily refused or refuted by minor changes. Okay, it should be like consistency, and the result should be reliable and should be valid if another person follow it. Like why making good manuscript? What make I mean good manuscript? Okay, let's talk about this. All the above detail that we talk, it was just a brief introduction about a great manuscript and how to publish it, and about high impact journal. Now what make a manuscript? These are the things. First, we have abstract, methodology, results, and funding. These things collectively form a manuscript. Which order to write? Okay, now we are now starting how to write the manuscript. So the order is important or not. The order is like when you write a manuscript, the order is not important at all. Okay, write the abstract last, but it should be present or the top. But the order is only important for the journals. When you write, when you submit it to the journal, so every journal have different criteria. Okay, so the order is not important in writing, but when you want to publish it, the order is important, because mostly journal, they have specific type of criteria. Choose a good title. Okay, the title should be good, concise, and to the point, around 15 words. They are the first thing someone read in your manuscript. It set the tone for a manuscript. Title is important because it is an eye catcher. When someone read the title, they conclude from the title whether this paper or this manuscript is the readable or not. It can be read, it should be read or not. Okay, avoid jargon filled titles, avoid tongues and jokes in your manuscript, like the headlines. It shouldn't be like the headlines and under the commas or any phrases. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, tips for from nature to produce a good title. These are the tips. Write the main result of the manuscripts, okay, in short paragraph. Then shorten the text to make it more concise, okay, while still remaining the descriptions. Repeat this process, like main result, then narrow it down, narrow it down, narrow it down until it comes to the 15 words. So this is the good title according to the nature. Author should be cautious to not make any claims in the titles that cannot be backed up by the evidence. Okay, there shouldn't be the like the YouTube videos. They put a claim that 5 words and get band 8 IELTS band 8. It shouldn't be like the same claim that could not be backed up by the evidence. Don't ask question in the title. This is also the main thing you should focus. Don't ask the title in a question manners, like is breathing pattern is the COPD lead person to fall. Isn't it be like that? Okay, it should be in the descriptive manner, not in the question manner. author list and affiliations. The second thing after the title, we have the author list and the affiliation. Should your name be on the paper or not? It depends on these two factors. If you have the substantial contribution to the concept or the design of the work, or the acquisition or analysis, interpretation of the data of the work, okay, and drafting the work, reviewing it critically for important intellectual content. If you have done any of this work, you can own the authorship, okay? You can claim the authorship in an article. Agree to the authorship role and order before you begin the research and before you begin writing. Okay, begin writing. Authorship is it should be decided like the first author, second author, third author, fourth, and so on. It should be decided at the start of the study, because when you don't decide, then there is a lot of heartbrokens and a lot of issues after that, because sometimes the one he didn't do anything, but he claimed that I did this, I did this, I did this. So it is not like that. It shouldn't be like this. Research, conducting research should be all under the ethical consideration. All should be the ethical guideline, and it is again ethics. So everyone that the work should be divided, and the authorship should be also divided according to the work done by each participant. Okay, make sure everyone agree on the order, that no one is on the left. So there should be no conflict of interest at the start. Everyone decided, I will be author one, so I will do this work, this work, this work, and you will be the author, the second author, and you will do this. So it should be decided from the start. Author list. Now what about affiliation? Who should you claim for affiliation, and which one should be used for affiliation? You can use multiple affiliation, but consider the following. The first should be your primary workplace, or the place that pay you, they sponsor your study, or the place where you study. Okay, other should also be included if the affiliated was involved in, like for example, if you want to data collect from any hospital, and the hospital allow only in the condition that you have put our affiliation, then you can put them as a second affiliation. Or for example, you are a university student, so the first affiliation should be your university, and the second should be the hospital from where you collect the data, or any organization from where you collect the data. So other affiliation should also be possible, but the first author will be the place where you work, and the place where who pay. Write a good abstract. The second thing after the introduction should be the writing a good abstract. So abstract length and structure is dictated by the journal you choose to publish in. Like, and the mostly in the manuscript, abstract writing is not important or not compulsory, but abstract is compulsory when you want to publish it and send for the journal. So you have to write a good abstract. Well, before writing the abstract, you have to check the guideline of each of that journal. So like in which format they are accepting the abstract. Okay, sometimes they want abstract and just a one para, so you write the abstract and there only one para. Sometimes they need a subheadings, introduction, background, and methodology and material and methods, and then results, and then conclusion, and so on. So you have to follow the journal guideline. Okay, it must pack a punch. Sometimes it is only part of your manuscript that people read, because when sometimes you send the paper to the journal and it is not open access, so they just only publish your abstract to globally, so the people can only see the abstract. So that's the best thing is you should include the best finding, the good finding of your research and the abstract, so that people can cite, you can get more citation from the abstract also, when you put more the result in a concise way. It read first but written last. Because it is the abstract, the best summary of the article, so it is written last but is present on the top of the study. Tips for writing a good abstract: know the word counts, as I told before. Know the style, start with bullet. Okay, these are the basic tips you have to keep in mind when you're writing a good abstract. Selecting the best keywords. Okay, keywords is also important. Sometimes the people use the keyword from the title. For example, if I want to study the breathing, the balance and fall risk, and elderly COPD patient, so they use the keyword balance, fall, COPD patients, and elderly. It shouldn't be like the same word that are already present in the title, because it's already present. You have to use some other words. For example, if you want to for the balance, you have to use the for the fall risk, or postal imbalances, or you can see mobility issues, or get problem, yeah, muscle weakness, COPD, oxygen therapy, COPD induced gait problem. So the keywords should be somehow linked to your topics. Okay, it can be the topic, you can take from the topic, but to broaden, to get your article more visible on search, so you have to use the similar words also. The introduction. Now coming to the, after the we study abstract and we study the keywords, now come to the introduction, which is the main part of the articles. Need to set the sense for your manuscript. Okay, it's not the literature review. Sometimes people write the introduction, the copy paste from the introduction. It is not the same. It is not the actually it is not the literature review. It should state the need for your study or the importance of your study, like why your study matters. Okay, it must contain your aims. If there is no aim, rejection of it is rejected by editor. Okay, the aim and rationale must be mentioned either on the last paragraph or the second last paragraph. Okay, the hypothesis should also be present on the second last paragraph. It must avoid the reader with the necessary background information to understand your result. Okay, you should also provide some information from the literature review, the background information, but it shouldn't be the literature review. It should conclude the citation to keep piece of the work that support your hypothesis. Okay, around 1000 to 150 words, and it should be concise, covering the most important aspect of the previous work that built up to your work. Okay, you have to cite your hypothesis and support by the other works in the introduction. Now the second most important part is material and method after introduction that you must include it in the manuscript is material and methods must describe your methods in your own words. Okay, you must give enough details so anyone can follow you. If anyone follow the same study or somehow same, so they can follow your methods. So you by reading your method, they can follow the study. Okay, you should be more concise and more specific, and don't be cautious of repetitive language. Mostly the people use the repetitive language. For example, if you want to conduct a survey, so it is not that a survey will be conducted and a people's 100 people will be selected for this survey. Questionnaire will be sent to the people who are enrolled in the survey. The people will call. So not the survey repetition will not be like the same words should not be repeated again and again, because it's make the writing very bad. Okay, cite source by the method. If you follow the other methods, you should cite that journal or that article. Do not use complicated language. For example, you read this, don't how to make a cup of coffee. Okay, and this is the big explanation. You can read it by pausing the video, and don't like how to make a coffee. This is just just in one sentence. Okay, like the reader want the results. They are not here to trap and in your words. Okay, you have to be more concise and more easy words and less words. Okay, the more easy and the less words and the easy way you can convey your message is the best way. Okay, don't overcomplicate things, because the human is nature that they follow for the easy thing, not for the shortcuts, because shortcuts is danger, shortcuts it's trap, but easy thing and is okay. Okay, you can make the writing easy and concise and consistent. Now the third thing is statistical analysis and understanding your data. Which statistical test should I use? Okay, if you don't know which statistical test should I use by reaching the conclusion that not hypothesis is accepted or rejected, then your study you cannot reach the conclusion of your study. This is the flow chart that you should follow when you want to decide your study results. Okay, if you want to have the continuous data, then these tests should be followed. If you have skewness in your data, then these should be followed. If your data is discrete and proportional, so you can take a screenshot. This is a very good image I can take from this source. You can also, if you want to further read, you can go to that source. If you want to use ANOVA post hoc then these, and your goal, for example, if your goal is compare every mean to every other means, okay, so you can use tar key, Banfaloni and set key accordingly, and you want to compare every mean to the control mean, then you can use these tests, and ANOVA compare selected pair of means up to 40. So according to your goals you can decide this, because the best thing in the result is the best test you use. If you don't use the best test, then your results is like useless. Okay, you cannot reach to the main results, and the manuscript in writing a Great Manuscript, purpose of the writing a Great Manuscript is will not fulfill. So that's why I include this in the presentation results. This is where your data lies. Okay, figure and tables, it depends, it consists of tables and figure and some narrations. You need to describe your data without describing the implication, yet save that for discussion. Okay, you just only describe the result, but don't you just what is your result, don't describe it in details, because this part will be done in the discussion section. Take your figure and table and write the information that contain in the short simple paragraph. Okay, cite your figure and in order they appear. Okay, like don't describe figure 2 before figure 1, or figure 1c before figure 1a, because it make confusion, and we don't have to make confusion when writing a great manuscript. We have to follow a proper channel. Okay, and a consistency and a flow manner. Okay, figure, make your figure clear and stand alone. Okay, your figure should be in the okay, just wait, I want to, okay, figure need to be stand alone. Like for example, if someone reading your paper and they only read your paper, read your tables, they can get your results. Okay, it should be self-explanatory. It should be high quality so that it can be easily readable, and it shouldn't be very long that it cannot come into the paper size. Okay, it should be a small size so that it can be easily readable and easy understandable. Some general limit the number of figure and table allow, so you need creativity and getting more your data on the papers. Okay, figures. Okay, be careful with the use of color in your figure, especially if you're not paying to color for the figures and print, because in the color printing the journal will ask for extra money. If you don't want to pay, then don't use color and you are writing a manuscript, because if you use a color, then this will be the result here. They are using the color, so in the background this come when they print it in the black and white manners, because you don't want to pay for it, then all that all the columns and all the bar graph it come in the same image when you use it as the color, right? If you use a black and white, so it come like this. So it's better to use a black and white if you don't want to pay for the colors. Okay, now tables are useful to highlight precise numerical values, proportions, trends, and better illustrate with charts and graphs. Okay, tables summarize large amount of related data clearly and allow comparison among group of variables. Okay, use table to save writing out long description of your data, because it is very time saving. Generally, well-constructed table should be self-explanatory with 4 main types. It has titles, and I always remember keep the title brief and concise. Okay, it has the columns and it has the rows. Okay, rows and the footnotes. And the footnotes, columns and row contain your data, and the footnotes contain any explanation to the data. For example, if you use any abbreviations, so it should be explained in the footnotes. Or if there is any significance or no significance, or any, for example, if you are using any symbols, so these symbols should be explained in the footnotes so that the reader can understand what it stands for. Or if you are abbreviation, so you explain the abbreviation, each words. For example, if you use TUG, so it should be explained in the footnote that TUG stand for time up and go test, for example. A discussion. So what should be included in the discussion for a Great Manuscript? It should not be do not repeat a discussion of the result. It is not the repetition of the result. Okay, the discussion should be like the discussion should be like the support from the other research, your result, and support from the other findings already published on according to your somehow similar to your studies. Okay, And the research, like put your data in the context of research landscape. Does your data change the view of the research landscape, like already published, what is the already finding, and what is your research? Okay, does it add to the knowledge? Do you results support the finding of other or contradict it? If it contradicted, you explain why my finding is contradicting. If it's similar, then it's similar. But if you contradict, then you have to explain why it is similar. Why? Because is it the problem in your population, age, demographics, some changes according to the other finding, and your finding is because of demographical changes or some other changes. So you have to explain. Can you explain your finding with respect to other work? Now this should be four things should be included in the good description. Interpretation, what do your result mean? Okay. Implication, why do results matters? What is your matters, like what important, how important is your results to the society, to the community, and to the field, relevant field? Why can't your result tell us what can't, like limitations of your studies should also be explained in the discussions. And even for future studies, if there is a limitation, so what you recommend for the future, for the anyone who are following the study, so what you recommend them, because you are the only one who did the study and who know the limitation. It is good to know to tell the limitation. It is not bad, because sometimes people say, if I write limitations, then the editor will not accept the journal will not accept. It is just the math. It is not the fact. The editor will actually be happy that you put the limitation, because you put the future directions for the others to follow. Now this is the citation. This is the final part, references. We mostly use in order, or you can use manually, which one is feasible for user tray. Anyone you can use, but be careful to keep your reference up to date. Okay. Do not cite paper you haven't read. Sometimes we just read the abstract that and we cite that paper. Or sometimes we just see on the Google and copy some text, and then the Google suggests us some papers, and this text is present in this article, and we cite blindly this article. So it is not the good way to cite any, because it will lead to plagiarism. It can lead to plagiarism by misquoting other informations. Okay, by misquoting the work. The uses of abbreviation. Abbreviation use sensibly. Use only the acceptable abbreviation. For example, TUG, time up and go test. Don't make your own abbreviation and use it in your studies. Okay, use the whole word first, followed by abbreviation. Okay, when you use abbreviation at the first time, so you write the complete words, and then and the bracket use the abbreviations. Okay, and then follow up, you can use the abbreviation. It's okay. But if you use abbreviation from the start without explaining, write the full words, so it is also the bad thing, and it actually decrease the quality of your study. There is no need to define common abbreviations such as DNA and RNA, because it is universally accepted and everyone knows that. If you modify these common abbreviations, such as coding DNA, then you have to write it down. And what a plagiarism? The plagiarism is also the thing that mostly come in the article, and it decrease the quality of our study. Okay, the common type of plagiarism, we have the direct plagiarism, is like when you directly using the word of someone's, and without using the quotation mark, and then put them into your study. Okay, and the self plagiarism is if there is any of your work already published, and you follow the methods section or any others and any other point from this article without citing it, so it is a self plagiarism. It's your work, but it is good to cite it. Okay, mosaic plagiarism is like the type of plagiarism, and when you just use the phrases without using marking it, or use or just changing the synonyms without changing the structure. The structure of the sentence is remaining the same, but just using a synonym. So it's also plagiarism, and it counts into the mosaic plagiarism, which is also not acceptable. And the accidental plagiarism is a type of plagiarism that you accidentally do, like for example, is because of unintentionally you do some error. For example, if you cite any sentence wrongly, Okay, it is, for example, the work, this work is published by A, but you cite it's B because of some unintentionally error. So this is also a type of plagiarism, and it's counted, and it is not acceptable. So the best thing is when you write it, you check it by using Turnitin is a mostly commonly used website that mostly used for the academic purpose. So it is best you use it by the Turnitin or any other freely available plagiarism. But actually Turnitin is paid, so you can use any other good plagiarism checker. So this is the end of this presentation. If you have any questions, so you can ask. And there is also one request from all of you. If you are new to the channel, so please subscribe for so that you can get notification from any new videos quickly, easily. Okay, thank you so much for your time. And I hope if you have any question, you can post it in the comment, and I will be able to, I will try to answer it.